Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this 19th edition of the Together for Education webinars brought to you by Notebook. For the last 100 odd days, schools have been shut down because of this unprecedented coronavirus pandemic that's raging around the globe. Some places have started unlocking, which is why it's even more important that all of us stay safe, follow social distancing norms, and ensure that our near and dear ones are all kept safe. When this lockdown started, schools shut down, students were sent home, and their education continued online. As one teacher very aptly put it, schools were shut, learning wasn't. In an effort to make online learning more effortless, Notebook made its content absolutely free of charge. And to help teachers adopt Notebook better, we set up the Together for Education webinar. What was initially intended to be a dialogue about Notebook quickly evolved into a much bigger event. Today, over the last 19 sessions, Notebook has brought together thought leaders and eminent speakers from various walks of life to discuss various issues that teachers face both within the classroom and outside. Various aspects of the school education system have been dealt with in great details. It has been our privilege that our event has been graced with some of the best speakers that the country can boast of. Today, we talk about a topic that's very, very important to every teacher and something that every teacher experiences firsthand because they deal with the teenage years of a child's growing up. Before we start, I'll tell you a small story. A few years back, I was living in Nairobi, Kenya, and my neighbors were a Jordanian family. There was a boy and a girl, twins, both about 12 years of age. Both of them had the same red shoes that they used to wear. They were brought together. They turned 13 in a few months, and soon the girl found the shoes were too boyish and decided to get high heels. The boy needed to be a little more macho and got high heel leather shoes. And every time you would pass by their apartment, those two pairs of red shoes outside their house would be a constant reminder that they have now entered their teenage, the freedom to make choices, to believe they were misunderstood. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it is now our privilege to introduce to you the third speaker of the day, Mr. P. Kadirasan. Sir is currently in the capacity of principal of the Navneeta Public School in Nellore, a residential school for the underprivileged under the CSR initiative promoted by the Krishnapatnam Port, one of the largest in the East Coast region. He's had 24 years of teaching experience in Matriculation Board, CBSE, and ICSE Council schools. He has had 16 years of experience in the capacity of school principals and 4 years of working in Saudi Arabia. He won the Bharat Shiksha Ratan Award in the year 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. P. Kadirasan. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Sapiu. That is so nice of you introducing me. I'll just take a moment to share my presentation. Yeah. So, good evening, all the participants and the panelists. Thanking you all for joining this wonderful session and a very critical and a sensitive topic. As my introduction went, I come from the background of being a principal at the Navneeta Public School in Nellore. All my other panelists have been from a tier city, but this is a very remote place in Andhra Pradesh, and believe me, the school is run by Krishnapatnam Port. As the introduction went, it is run by the Krishnapatnam Port, which is one of the largest in the East Coast region. And this school caters to all the facilities required for the children. It's more like for the underprivileged children. They don't have a permanent shelter over their head, but we provide all kind of facilities for them. Now, uh, the background of the school which I worked had to be hinted upon because I'd been across schools working in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh. I've been at Saudi Arabia, I've visited Cambodia, Thailand, all. Across any country, an adolescent is an adolescent. There is no comparison in terms of the region or the background they come from. Adolescent in general is a period which marks the transition from childhood to adulthood, typically from say 12 to 18 years. But more recent studies somewhere in a medical journal from Canada had seen that it's extending till 25 years of age just because people are not able to take make themselves independent. They are still on their dependence that makes them still extending, right? Now, how do we know this adolescence, whether somebody is into adolescent? These basically are the behavioral changes which you could see in an adolescent. As most of the panelists had spoken about, you would see the child more behaving independently. He feels like he knows everything and he doesn't need any support more. There's an increase eagerness to learn, or sometimes it's the other way around. They withdraw the interest in learning and other abilities what they have. They always look for rewards and appreciations, applauds, etc. And more so, adolescent is a phase where everybody looks for recognition. When will my name be called out for? When will I go up that stage? Is a phase where these adolescents would be eager to. They are they take risk at ease, and they have increased emotional reactivity. As some of the panelists were speaking, they get angry more often just for very simple reason. They have an increased emotional reactivity. They spend more time with their peers, less with parents. Now, having said all these things, there are both the internal factors and the external environment which influence all these changes. When we look back, when we, as Mr. Barrett was asking us to close our eyes and then think of somebody else, it's a mentor uh, who had influenced us comes into mind. But think of our own adolescent. Do we remember anything what we did as an adolescent, or why did we do so? More so, it's just a passing cloud. That phase of life was just like a passing cloud. Everybody wanted to be a recognized independent, and so were the changes in adolescence. Now I'm more going to highlight on the handling of adolescent by the teacher, by the parent. Role of the teacher. So as teachers, we having enough experience, we need to understand that no two adolescents have the same behavior, or they are not even equal to similar characteristics. So no comparisons on any child for that matter. Become a friend who is approachable to talk and clear their emotional imbalances due to his or her surrounding. There are a lot of emotional imbalances because they have these changes happening physically too. There are sudden changes coming into the child, and so there's a lot of emotional imbalances. Only if you are going to be a friendly character would they be able to share with you their problems, and encourage questioning. Even if you don't know the answer, you can always get back to them. It so happens most of the teachers do listen to the children, do encourage children questioning, but sometimes when there is a teenager asking, even if it's a grade 10 child, asking a silly question, we immediately remark, don't behave childish, don't ever ask childish questions, should not be happening, because a question is question whether adolescent or a child. It's a question which need to be cleared. In case you are not very clear with the answer, just get back to them at least a later stage. Encourage creativity could be the answers there. There'll be a lot of funny answers in their question papers. The answer sheets, what they write would carry on a lot of funny answers. There'll be a lot of criticisms. There will be a lot of kind of suggestions. Encourage them. If there's an essay in an English question paper asking for, if you were to be a teacher, they would give you what they expect from a teacher. And so encourage that creative thought in the child. And reward students. Rewards need not necessarily be materials, it can be appreciations across. Bring in the attention of students for the display of their innate potentials, which as teachers we will have to take it up and then project, which will make them more confident and we unleash their potential. Right. You should always be a role model for your students, because what Mr. Barrett, again I put that, what we remember is our mentor who helped us come out of that difficulty. So be as a role model for the students who, however old they get, they only remember their own role models in their schools. Use this platform to teach changes in the physiology. This is something which is very, very sensitive. Use this platform to teach the changes in the physiology that one undergoes, reproductive organs, the hormonal imbalance, the mood swings, and emotional outbursts, etc. Assure them, make them sure that it's all absolutely normal and the individual has to accept these transformation. As just concluded, Ms. Hemlata was mentioning about, these are all some very sensitive topics for the child to express. So give them that scope, make them comfortable. So a biology class could be used for addressing all these issues. Begin to treat them as adults, as they would always understand what responsibilities they need to handle, and they would always be accountable for their actions. So treat them as adults during that phase of adolescence. Don't ever spoon feed them, don't ever treat them as a child. Teach them to the technique to focus on their dreams and methods to realize it. So as an adolescent, this is the best time where you can allow the child to focus on their dreams, on what could be their passion, and what are the methods they can realize their dreams. You could see a lot of children kind of emulating their role models. They might be, it's a movie star, might be a cricketer or musician, whoever it could. They try to kind of behave the way they are because their dream could be something like that, very closer to that. Now, when we go to the role of a parent, how parent plays a very vital role, though the parents always skip it to the teachers and the teachers skip it to the parents. It's a combined effort, but also the parent would have a better role to play in this. The role of the parents could be encourage your child to choose his or her passionate career. Most often it happens that the parents' dream are asked to be fulfilled, not the child's. So try to find out the interest in the child. Let him or her own the responsibility of decision making. support, as a parent, support the child with all choices, pros, cons, prior to taking his own decision. Do not pressurize him. Do not enforce your thoughts into the child. Make the child independent to take decision, but give him all the choices. Give him the pros and cons of the decision what he is taking. Believe me, I'll believe you. The next very underlying factor of relationship. Suddenly, all of a sudden, uh, when we check, there are these three phases which are very important before they proceed into the adulthood: the infant stage, the childhood, early and late childhood, the adolescent, and the adult. Infant stage, almost every child observes very keenly. They try to kind of imitate their observations, and that's what is infancy. The childhood, they try to get accustomed with their social group, their peer group. They try to mingle with them. They learn all their kind of discipline, the values when they are with their peer group. But when it is adolescent, it's a very very tough phase where child doesn't know, but he behaves as if he knows everything. And now that is where we will have to believe in the child and give the child the hope, the confidence that he can. So trust your child. Never bring down your child's confidence. Give him all that trust. Have the doors open. He will definitely do the right thing. If he's having a confusion, he'll always get back to you than going into third person. And these family issues always come up. Do not fight with your spouse in front of the adolescent. He is emotionally vulnerable. Adolescents model from their parents because they are the ones whom he is seeing from his childhood, from his infant, seeing them, and what are the changes he observed in the parents that would always influence the adolescent. Maintain a zen-like environment at home with healthy conversations and instill positive emotional states of mind. Always the confidence and the emotional state of mind. That's what I put it across. The emotional state of mind plays a vital role in the adolescent stage. In case you're not accepting the child's behavior and straight away put it on a negative platform, the child will not be behaving the way you want, but he will act differently. In There'll be two different kind of reactions. In front of the parents, he would act a different way, and outside it will be a different kind of reaction. Parents can teach their child about these sensitive growth cycles, menstruations, their cycles, reproduction, and not feel disgusted to talk about it, as you can create awareness. It's always been the Indian parenting setup that these are all very sensitive, we should not be talking to the child. But there are other means when a biology teacher, when a science teacher can teach it in class. You can also, the topic is included right from grade 8 about how reaching adolescence and how what are the changes, what one needs to do, are the kind of topics which are, we can in general be talking to the child as a parent. This will avoid a lot of sexual abuse, respect for each other, and gender inequalities would be taken off from the child's mind. Never emotionally blackmail your children or instill fear in them. This is this is more so when they take they make a wrong step. You are irritated for their bad behavior or something, and the first thing what a teacher or a parent reacts is, you would not have a good future, you are fit for nothing, you you would not prosper. All these are to be taken off when we deal with an adolescent. This will further bring in a negative influence on the child's growth. Always be a support system where you build the confidence of your child. He would reach greater heights. Just believe the child. He will trust you. He will believe you. Now, this is where I would like to share. This is a student of mine. When I was just asking, immediately the first thought after I got my topic, what do you remember in your adolescent, was the question which I asked few of my students, and I'm just sharing two or three. So this particular child passed out in the year 2000, so it's decades back. He says he had a fantastic childhood, hands down the best time in his life. He still remembers Mali the child. At times I wonder how I would have been if I didn't have a school which enhanced my curiosity, love for extracurricular activities or the sport. He never mentioned any curricular subjects or the academic subjects. A big thanks to my teachers who have been phenomenal support in shaping those early foundation. Needless to say, the unsung hero in my life was his mom, who built on this beautiful foundation. He he's only trying to. He's a wonderful student. He is a high achieving student. He finished his engineering graduation, and he is into Tollywood acting. Believe me, there is a small incident which made him choose this. Though he has completed his professional degree in engineering, there was a inter-school competition. He was one among the dancers, and for some reason he was disqualified by the judge, though he performed very well. But amongst the team, his peer, one other girl, got first place at All India competition. This was an All India competition. A girl got first prize in classical dance. Now, there's a comparison as an adolescent. He, for this silly reason, I was disqualified, wherein that girl had got. So you don't need to, the child, the adolescents at the adolescent phase, they compare each other. From then on started that urge. I need to be recognized. I need to be known to people across. It is not my household. It is not my surrounding. I need to be known by people around. So even though he completed his engineering graduation, now he he had that passion for that recognition. He was seeking that recognition, and that's how he has reached this far. That is what I understand from the child last 2 decades. I have one another wonderful student of mine, a senior test engineer and a visiting faculty at ITM. So as a teenager, when I was asking, this is her thoughts. As a teenager, I was always intrigued by why my physiology is changing in a specific way, which certainly I thought menstruating is bad. I even tried, lied to my friends. I was down with a fever. This is what generally children do. They give some other kind of excuses, because we aren't providing a platform. We are not creating an awareness that these are all normal physical changes which one see when they enter into an. So there were a lot of kind of confusions in the child. I wasn't open asking these questions to my parents or teachers or friends. I used to shy away, being this is a true fact, friends. Children don't speak when they're not confident of sharing. They always presume things, how the others would react. And during my ninth grade, my biology ma'am helped us realize that it's a normal phase through our class on reproductive system, which made me embrace the change with grace. And remember this child, is about 16 years back, she completed 16, 17. She still remembers biology madam taking up this topic because that influenced the child on this very sensitive topic, which she was not able to share with the parents or the friends. So when the my amazing parents did not put me down when I didn't shine well academically, they just left me myself, take my own decisions, and how much I wish to score, all these things with a lot of support from the parents. There are parents who always keep comparing on the grades from their friends, all those things. This particular parent encouraged child not focusing on the numbers or the marks or the grades, but allow the child to proceed on her own. This this child, though a senior test engineer, I'm proud. Now she's trying to realize her dream, preparing for the civil services. She's trying to get into the civil services. God bless her to reach greater heights. I have shared two such instances which showed, say, 15 to 20 years back. Now, these are my proud children. We cannot decide on the children, the children from A-tier achieve this, the children from a rural background don't. These are my children who have made us all feel proud of them. The first two children, Miss Likita and Kaveri, are selected for for an exchange program sponsored by AFS. AFS is American Field Service Program, and AFS India had about 500 applications. Out of 500 applications, it's shortlisted to only 40, and these two children are among the 40. Two of my children from a rural background, underprivileged, where there is connectivity issues, there is no kind of facilities at home, there's no nothing possible for this child to reach for to that level. These children's confidence, how they prepared themselves at each level when they got selected, they felt confident, and that's the reason now they are in for the intercultural exchange program. But unfortunately, due to the pandemic, things are getting delayed. Otherwise, by this time they should have been there at US. And another student who went into national level kabaddi. She was the captain of Andhra Pradesh team, a 10th standard. All of them are 10th grade children. A 10th grade child from a remote village in Nellore, heading the state team at national level kabaddi tournament is an awesome achievement. It is not, I'm not talking about my school, it is the confidence, how we build how we instill the confidence in the children at adolescent phase is what is very, very important. And uh, that's all for you, my dear friends.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. And it's been absolutely inspiring hearing the stories of your children. The work that you're doing at your school is phenomenal. And all of us take inspiration from your work, especially in working with the sections of the underprivileged sections of the society. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Subia.